last training session, I provided you with the big picture of the problems that are encountered and experienced with traditional training methods. And I demonstrated you how TWI job instructions can be so much more effective. In this training session, I will focus on two of the most important aspects of job instructions: the development of the job breakdown sheet and the training process itself. And that four-step process that we've been talking about so many times is preparation, presentation, application, and testing, in sync with PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. Okay. So we're going to continue with our underwriter's fire knot as the example, in which we'll create a job breakdown sheet. And as we create it, I'm also going to teach you about each of the different columns and what they mean. I found that when I create job breakdown sheets, when I've helped people create job breakdown sheets, we see, because we point out the key points and so forth, we see potential errors. And it actually encourages us as we do this to try to mistake-proof wherever possible. They're just simple, common sense reminders. They're your cheat sheet, if you want to call it that, for a teachable segment. We don't want to teach too much at one time. As an example, there was a company I worked with some time ago, and they were doing, again, assembly work. I won't talk about the product, but they were doing some assembly work. And they believed in one-piece flow, and so, but they had the rabbit chase system. Okay, so in other words, a person, there might be two people in a work cell, but one person would be assembling this product all the way through from very beginning to very end, and it might be very complex. Meanwhile, there's another person doing exactly the same thing, but each person was responsible for the entire product. Okay, so you got the rabbit chasing scenario. Okay. Now, that's all fine and well and good, but you don't want to train that way. That's too much at one time. You might have to break up the training into segments, teachable segments, so that they learn maybe the first half of the assembly for a while, at least while they're training, and then later learn the second half. And so you're adding a whole bunch more words. The problem with that, again, is that when you have long sentences and paragraphs, it's hard for me to refer to as when I'm training. It's almost impossible. So I want it quick and easy, untwist and straighten. Okay. So going back to the original work instruction, again, from the very beginning, I told you it had 13 steps. It had 163 words. And now this has 5 steps and 36 words. So going from 163 words down to 36. That's quite a bit. And again, it's easy to use, it's easy to read. That's an 80% reduction in words. It becomes very user-friendly. We're going to get the person interested in learning the job and place the person in the correct position. So step one is prepare the worker, right? And we want to, of course, put the person at ease. What are ways that we can do that? And so there's some philosophical issues here that we want to ingrain in supervisors' heads and team leaders' heads that, hey, these are the types of things that should be done all the time. But in the statistics from 1945, 100% of the companies that went through this training said that they reduced their training time by at least 25%. If you're a long-term thinker, you are reducing your training time overall. And you've seen the whole process now. You've seen how it all works together. The question is, how do you sustain these efforts? How do you sustain the benefits that's achieved? How do you keep it going? Because there will be that issue of, let's do it the old way. TWI, training within industry, job instruction, it should be and is a very respectful way of teaching, of training employees. It's a standardized approach that could be used throughout the entire company. It ensures competency. I've seen some companies use it in the office too as well, the office processes as well. It accentuates, it enhances, and it greatly fulfills the requirements of any ISO-based business management system. It does drive quality, it drives long-term productivity. It helps to involve all the people, and most importantly, it helps to develop leaders within the organization. Leaders who truly know their business and know the processes that they're responsible for, because it forces those leaders and those supervisors to truly know those processes and then teach them.